in this video, we're going to start to focus on the audio bus structure that is within a program. So this information is really going to help you to get more into the sound design aspect of controlling programs and such. So what we're going to do is start off with completely resetting Halion. So we're going to click the trash icon to remove all of the programs from our slots. We'll click on clear. And over here, you'll still see these program elements hanging around. This time, what I'm going to do is open up the program table by clicking new window, coming down to editor, choosing program table. Now you'll still see all of these different programs that we had loaded into our slots. The program table kind of makes it easy for us to be able to reload previously opened programs or even save program collections. But what I want to do is completely remove these programs from this instance of Halion. So we'll just select it and then click the trash icon. Now what you'll see when we select the different programs is a very base level program here over in the program tree. Let's close this window. And then we want to load this blank program into one of our slots so that we can activate its sounds. We can easily do that by clicking and dragging this program over to our slot rack. Let's create another sound from scratch. So first we'll relabel this program. Maybe we'll just call it synth lead. Next, we're going to add a layer to contain some of the different components. We'll rename this saw lead. And now we'll create a synth zone. So we'll right click on the layer, choose new, zone, synth zone. Now if we visit our sound editor tab, we can see our synth zone controls. Let's just make a basic saw wave lead sound. So we'll choose a saw for oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Maybe we'll slightly detune it to give it a nice little chorusing effect. Let's turn off oscillator 3 and maybe enable our sub oscillator. Let's come down and maybe we'll add a filter. So for the filter type, we'll choose tube drive. We'll turn up the distortion a little bit. Okay, so now we have a pretty basic program here. Now, when we look in our program tree, you'll see the program bus. The program bus sends audio from our program to the slot. So the program bus is a little bit different than our slot bus. That's just essentially what feeds our slot bus. So if we were to create a new layer for our program, the program bus would control all of the different layers within that program. Let's create a square wave sound. So we'll create a new layer with a new synth zone and solo that synth zone. Let's dial in a square wave with cross modulation. Now, what if we wanted to control the volume of each one of these independently? We could actually assign their own audio bus. What we'll do is right-click on the layer, come down to New, Bus, and select Bus. We'll do the same thing for the square wave layer. Now we'll unsolo that. And now each one of these layers will have their own fader. Then we could use the program bus to adjust the overall volume of these two layers here. And each one of these buses can have their own effects. So let's choose our saw lead bus, and we'll put on a little bit of delay. Maybe we'll come down to our square wave bus and add a little bit of chorus. Now let's add another sample layer to our program. So we'll create a layer, rename it sample, and within the sample layer, we'll create a new sample zone. We'll load an audio sample. And here I've found a synth lead wave sound. Just double click that to load the sample. And we're going to add another audio bus just for this layer. So we'll click new and come down to bus and create a bus. And now we can bring that volume up of the sample just a little bit. Now we also have aux buses available, which we can use to send multiple buses and group them into another bus. So let's right-click the program. We'll create new bus, aux bus, and then we can choose the buses that we want to send into the aux. So for this, I'm just going to send in our SAW lead bus. We'll click on the output for the SAW lead bus. We'll choose SAW lead, synth lead, and then the synth lead aux that we can see here. And we'll do the same for our square wave bus. So we'll choose that, and we'll change its output to the aux. And we can even apply effects directly to that aux bus. Let's come down to distortion, and we'll choose tube saturator. Now, there's only 4 aux buses available for a given program. So in addition to being able to use aux buses in this manner, we can actually use them to create send effects as well. So let's create a new aux bus again. We're going to relabel this reverb. This is basically a situation where you would want to use a send effect so that you can blend the wet reverb with the dry signal. So we'll expand our reverb bus here, and we'll insert a reverb effect. We'll choose reverb. Now in this case, you'll see that nothing is quite coming through to the reverb. That's because we haven't yet routed any signal to that reverb bus. So instead of changing the output of our audio bus, we can actually access them through a send. You can do this through the inserts. You'll see down here where it says send, we have aux effects 1 through 4. Now we used aux effects 2 for the reverb, so we'll just send it to aux effects 2. Let's do the same thing for our square wave. So we'll create a send for aux effects 2. This time, we can hear the signal going through the reverb. Then we can use that aux fader to control the wet level of the reverb. This time, let's come over and then right-click on our program, and we're going to choose Expand Tree. This will reveal all of the different components that we've added into our program tree. So this might help you to see how this hierarchy starts making sense now. So anytime you go to load one of the factory programs into Halion, you'll know exactly what you're looking at over here in the program tree if you want to inspect any of the individual elements or even modify them just to suit your needs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you want more information on Halion, just be sure to comment or leave a review. And again, if it generates enough interest, we'll be happy to continue to make more in-depth series in regards to the finer aspects of Halion. Again, my name is Dave Askew, and we'll see you in the next series.